Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are we today? I almost said Happy New Year. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm thinking about the new year a lot and what we can do for you in the new year. That was super cheesy. I apologize. So I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter. If you have not met me yet, I know we have a lot of newbies. So it's been nice to see so many new people joining us here in Hollywood Gatekeepers in all of our different ways. Let me get so I can see your comments here. Hold on. There we go. So welcome. Nice to see people coming in already. And then I know a lot of people watch the replay of this. We do have a replay. It lives in a couple of different places. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and in our Facebook group. Technology, it's so fabulous. It's so great that we can do that. So wherever you're tuning in from, welcome, welcome. Hey, Katrina, nice to see you. You'll see a little thing that says StreamYard.com, whatever platform you're on. And if you click on that, I'll be able to see your name. Otherwise, if you make a comment, it just says where you're from. So like what you're watching on. So Katrina, welcome from YouTube. So I can see that. So that might only be in the Facebook group now that I think about it. I don't know, technology, but leave comments, ask questions. No questions are off limits. Today we are talking about recapping 2023. Can you believe that already? And then dumping things we don't want and jumping into 2024. This has been an ongoing training that I've been doing for the whole month of December 2023. And so it will be combining to have a complete training so that if you are watching the replay, there's several trainings that go with this. It's just our gift to you. It's all free. It has a handout as well. Let me give that to you. And so you can't type and talk at the same time. Multitasking is not your friend or mine, I believe. So let me edit that. And so you can download the handout here, and I'm going to share my screen and go through it with you. But it's HollywoodGatekeepers.com/roadmap. It is your roadmap for 2024. It includes 3 live trainings recorded. We're live right now, but it will include this recording as well as a handout that I'm about to share and that you can do to kind of help you plan for 2024. We at Hollywood Gatekeepers, we talk about reading and analyzing screenplays. That's what we're all about. We also talk about writing screenplays as well, writing a screenplay that will get past a reader. We're always coming from that reader perspective. And if you're brand new to us, being a reader is someone who reads and analyzes screenplays for a living. Yes, it's an actual thing that you can do. So you read a screenplay and then you do what's called coverage, which is kind of like a book report. You write what the screenplay is about, and then you write what works in that screenplay, all the things that are great about it, and all the things that could use some attention or need work. And so that's your job as a reader. And so that's what we primarily talk about. However, I'm also a life coach. And so I'm always combining life coach skills as well for a couple of reasons. One, writing screenplays and living life really do go hand in hand. The more we are in touch with ourselves as people, the more we know ourselves, the more we live a life of contentment, the more that we're able to understand and regulate when things are going haywire, the more we can kind of look at trauma and look at the things in our lives that are challenging, as well as celebrate all the things that are fantastic. The more that we're able just to live a very present life, the better our screenplays are going to be. The more that we can take our life lessons and make them authentic in a screenplay, that's going to be a big deal. And a screenplay, that I believe the 2 things that make a screenplay successful are that it's authentic and it's universal. People can relate to it and it's very genuine. Whether it's an outrageous story or not, that doesn't matter. It still has to be believable and authentic. So if we can find ways to be authentic and universal and relate to each other in our lives, we'll be much better at writing screenplays and much better at critiquing screenplays. As a reader, you spend your day critiquing things. So we don't teach that you look for the things that are wrong. We teach that you look for the things that are right, both in your life and in a screenplay, because we sort of naturally look for all the stuff that's not so great, right? We sort of naturally go, oh, this is my problem, and I have this problem, and I have that problem. We typically don't live in a place of like, oh, and this is great about my life, and this is great about my life, and this is great about my life, which is what we try to encourage here at Hollywood Gatekeepers. The more we can kind of look at all the things that are going right, the easier it is to handle the challenges. And the same is true when you're critiquing a screenplay. The more that you can focus on that hidden gem, the reason that writer sat down and finished a screenplay, that is a big deal. There are millions, literally millions of people that say they want to write a screenplay, and there are thousands of people that do. But it's a small percentage of the amount of people that talk about writing a screenplay as opposed to actually doing it. So if someone sits down and actually finishes and gets to fade to black, then we as readers, we have a responsibility to treat them with love and care, to take that screenplay and treat it with so much respect and so much reverence that they actually got it done. And we're going to look at that screenplay from a place of here's what's fantastic about it. The more we can do that, the more then the things that need work are just easier to tackle, just like in life. The more that we can kind of be grateful, the more that we can look at the things that work on our life, the easier it then is to manage the challenges. So that's what we're all about. It's kind of long-winded, but that's what we're all about here. And so we're going to dive in today, and I'll kind of review. Let me share my screen here. Okay, hold on. I can't do it without singing. Anybody watch New Girl? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share the screen. Let me find, there we go. So that you can see, this is what the handout looks like. And again, you can see on my screen there, you can, I think you can still see it. Hold on, let me double check. Yes. So you can see HollywoodGatekeepers.com/roadmap, and this is yours. You just enter your name and email, but it's all free. The reason we have you enter your name and email, most of you, we already have your name and email, but it's a way for us to see which handouts people like. And then that way we can judge which ones, people are relating to, and we can create more of that. We're always, we really do take it very sincerely that we're listening to the things that you want and creating things to match that. This recap and reinvent and doing vision boards, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to show you how to do a vision board. This is always a very popular training. So it's why we do it every year, because it's one of the ones that people click on a lot. So here we are. So when you look at reinventing your life, just, a little thing of reinventing your life. That's something that we've also found common in the people that come into our programs. Let me make sure you can still see. Okay, because I'm kind of moving some screens around. So it was my story when I became a reader. I was a professional dancer, got in a car accident, couldn't do that, and had to reinvent myself. This has been a theme that we've noticed with people that join our program. So also let me know in the chat if you have questions and want to chime in or say that, yes, that's you. You're watching on Facebook user. So I'm not sure who that is, but I'm super happy to have you here. Feel free to comment. Feel free to ask questions. It's an open forum, and I really want you to feel, we're here for you, for sure. So as we started these trainings, I'm going to briefly go through the things that we did over the last couple of weeks. You can watch those trainings and dig in. And I highly recommend that you take this workbook and you either print it out, or you just, put it on your desktop and you grab a notepad or you grab your notebook and you just answer these questions. You are writers. If you're here and you love reading, you are a writer. If you're going to write coverage, you need to be able to write. And being a writer, I feel, is a superpower. It is a way that we can process life. It is a way that we can process emotion. It is a way that we can dream big. It's a way that we can let things go that are bothering us. I mean, being a writer is such an amazing skill. So really, double down on that. Hey, Lee, nice to have you. Thanks for clarifying there. So, where were you? So we started by reflecting back, where are you now? And looking back on where were you this time last year, right before the holidays, right before the end of the year? What were you thinking, in your life? What was 2023 going to be for you? So go back and watch those trainings and go through these questions about really looking back. And you can do it right now as well. Like, what pops into your mind when I say, where were you at this time in 2022? It was really interesting. We did this within our programs, and a lot of people were talked about how they had surgeries. We were like, oh my gosh, so many people had surgeries. Like, it was like just a thing. I don't know. But it's like, where were you at this time last year? And how were you viewing 2023? What were your plans? What were you hoping to accomplish, to experience, to believe? When you have a belief that you're trying to change, when you know that something maybe is holding you back, or a belief is basically just a thought that you continue to tell yourself over and over and over again. And the more you tell yourself that thing, the more your brain will look for evidence of that thing being true. And then that turns into a belief. So we can believe that the world is full of dangerous, awful things. And so because we start thinking that the world is scary, the world is full of evil things, the world is full of danger, our brain will be like, oh, okay, let me find that. Because if that's true, let's take a look. And then you'll start to see, oh, yeah. And you'll see all of the evidence of that. And then that can become a very ingrained belief. So you can kind of start working on, the world is full of opportunity, and there's so much love, and there's so much joy, and there's so many people that want to do so many good things. And there's more technology than ever before that can help us. There's more ways that with a click of a button, we can find resources that can help us through things. Like, there's so much available to us. There's so many ways that you can make money that we could never do before. There's so much opportunity. And so if our brain starts to go, oh, well, that's cool, and starts looking, then pretty soon that can become a belief as well, right? So you can change a belief. The word lie is right in the middle there of the word belief. So when you start looking about what were you doing last year, really going month to month, like what was January like? When I say what was happening in March of 2023 for you. Now, if I say what was happening in March of 2020, we can kind of easily go, oh, yeah, we know what was happening in March of 2020. But okay, 3 years later, can you believe that? How was your March? And then April, May, like go through the year and really, kind of look at each month. What did you let go of? What were you carrying forward? What were you celebrating? Who were you with? Like, take some time and really go through it. And then really kind of look at, how are you acting now? And so we're recapping what's happened in the last year, and we're seeing how is it affecting what we've been doing now, and really looking at what are some of the things we're carrying that maybe aren't serving us, some of those beliefs we just talked about. If you are believing the world is a dangerous place, how is that working out for you? And how is it serving you? And if you were able to let it go and let go of that belief, or let go of, a person, even someone that's really toxic in your life, that's causing all kinds of havoc, letting them go might be good for both of you. It might help their life as well, if that's the case, right? I firmly believe people come in and out of, we do this with each other based on what we need in the moment. And so people can flow out of our lives, and people that are toxic or causing havoc, sometimes if you stop getting involved in their drama, they just sort of float away. They just kind of go find someone that will get involved in that drama. So are there situations, or are there people, or are there things that you could let go of? And if you did that, what would it make room for? What could you do if you weren't spending your time there? What could happen for you? So by really kind of looking at how could you make room for the things that you do want. If you are in our courses and you say you want to get started, but you haven't yet, that's a very common thing in our courses, where people, they get involved and then they get sidetracked, and then they come back and then they get sidetracked. It's really common. So that's why we're always giving you these tools to kind of help you let go of the things that are stopping you from doing the things that you say you want to do, and enter in the things that will really, make your life like the life that you want. So as you look forward, and as you stand here today, how grounded are you? And how much of a plan do you have? Now, some people, they really need a plan, and they want that, that straight up thing. Some people, they take that plan to such a degree that all they do is plan. They constantly rewrite their list, and they constantly say, these are the things I want. They don't actually do anything. That's very common, where people, they'll take another course, or they'll just continue to kind of stay in the same cycle. And that's okay, but it's about being aware of it, being aware of what kind of person are you. So if you're constantly planning but not doing, you want to be able to plan and then implement, and then plan and then implement. So being able to stick to a plan, like, how's that working for you? How open are you to not having a plan? How much creativity are you allowing? Are you so married to the plan that then when an opportunity comes up that might be something beneficial, can you not see it because you're too married to your plan? Or are you so free and floating and bringing it all that you never get anything done because you're so all over the place of all the things that you want to do? And I say this all the time, and I always feel like I'm being repetitious with it, but almost every time I say it, someone new says, oh my, thank you for that. And that is the idea that if you are running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you're not getting the things done that you want to do, and you're not doing the things, you're not writing your screenplay, and you're not taking the course, you're not becoming a reader, you're not working in the industry, all the things that you say you want to do because you have all these other things, that, my friend, is not necessarily a time management issue. I don't have the time. That is typically a boundary issue. It means that you're spending your days and your time doing values that belong to someone else, doing things that aren't the things that you want to do because you're not able to say no. And you're not able to say, you know what, I'm going to take my time to do the thing that I want to do. And again, you might be releasing that person that has been nagging you about, can you do this, this? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? If you finally say to them, you know what, not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. How can I help you? Let's find someone else. Or can we solve this? Can I let you go and let you know that I'm sorry, this is just never going to happen. Love you so much, but it's just not my thing. And then they can find the person that is the person that would want to do that. We can all help each other in that way. So that's always something that I like to remind people of. And I feel like I say it a lot because it's so true. And because every time I do, someone's like, just like I have to remind myself that too. Sometimes when I'm like, running all around, like, wait a minute. Let's pull back down. Let's look at our plan. Let's ground ourselves. Let's see, like, what are the things that I want? And what am I doing today in this moment to move towards that? It can be a tiny little step. We typically don't do much different from day to day. So as we move forward, how can we make that happen? And so as you look at moving forward, what are you doing today? Who might be getting in your way? What are the circumstances or people that might be obstacles in your life? What do you contribute to the situation? Be honest with yourself. How much of it are you contributing to the drama of something that's holding you back? And just, be others, because if you blame others and you say that a reason I'm stuck is because of them, these fingers are pointing back at yourself. And it's like, you take your power away when you do that. When you're stuck in life because of circumstance, and this is happening and that's happening and they're toxic and this is that. When you do that, all the power is out here and you can't move forward. When you start to say, yes, maybe there's toxic people and all these things are happening, but if I stop thinking about them and think about more about what I want to do, they won't affect me as much. And can I move forward? And then are you beating yourself up about it all? As I say this, think about the thoughts you're thinking. Are the thoughts you're thinking things about how you should or shouldn't or could or would have, all that? Let that go. So can we shift? Can we shift? And so what changes do you want to make? How will the coming year be different? And then the final question, and we covered this is why I'm kind of just doing a recap here. We covered this deeply in each training. But what would you do if you knew that you could not fail? If I said to you, I just came back from 2024, at the end of 2024, we're about to go into 2025, which seems sort of crazy right now. But we're about to do that. And oh my gosh, everything you wanted in 2024 was so easy. It's just like, boom, right there. If I told you, you knew that it was all going to happen, what would you plan? What would you do if you knew no matter what you planned, you couldn't fail? What would you do? So now we're going to talk about a vision board. And this is how you can kind of put it together into the things of, what you might do, what you might plan, how you might do it. So let me walk through kind of some tactical ways that you can do this. So a vision board is just a way to remind yourself. It's a way, how I said we're looking for the things, right? So you can be intentional about that. You can know that your brain is going to look to back you up. Your brain is constantly going to be looking around to back up your belief. And so if you can put things visually in your space, if you can put music in your life, if you can put candles and smells or things, whatever, fresh air, whatever the smell is of your life that you want, if you can put these things around, you will train your subconscious to look for the things that you want. And that is the goal of a vision board, is to have a place where you can create this. And it can be something physical that you literally put on the wall. It can be a screensaver that's on your desktop. And it's just a constant reminder of the things that you love or the things that you want. Or it doesn't even necessarily, we talk about obviously vision board. It's our vision for the future. But one of the ways we can create a future is to also have a vision of our present and have a vision of our past, the things that we love about the things that we've done in our past. It's a way for us to tap into a really good feeling. And when we're thinking about things that we're so proud of that we've done already, and we're thinking about our accomplishments, and we're thinking about things that have happened in our lives, and we come into a really good place, we tend to make decisions moving forward from there. When we think about things that are like, oh, this was terrible and this was awful and I gotta fight this, rah, rah, and we come from there, then the choice we're gonna make is gonna be cranky. And we're gonna I hate that screenplay, right? And we're gonna come and we're gonna take our angsty life out on that poor writer. So what we wanna do is kind of look, the things that you can put on a vision board, you can put things, it doesn't have to all be forward thinking. Because the thing about putting something from your past, an accomplishment or recurring events that have inspired you, it will keep you in that state of mind. And then you'll be able to make choices and decisions from there. So you can put your favorite things that, your goals, you can put inspirational sayings, you can put pictures of people that you want to meet, people that you love that are in your life. You can put your pets, you can put pets that have passed away. You can put all the things that sort of put you in a good feeling spot. Travel, places, material things, things about your health, things about art, like whatever lights you up. And so you can do these in different types. There's different types of vision boards, and we have them here in the handout, where you can do a single space subject like finance. It can all be about the things that you want materially. That's fine. It can be about the new relationship that you want if you want to fall in love. It can be, all the words that you love as a reader and a writer. Like, what are the words and values and inspirations that will really get you motivated? It can be, very specific. You can put I went through a phase where I was really buff, and I had pictures all over of just muscles. Like, I just really wanted to focus my brain into that, right? So you can do that where it's very, very specific. It can be all encompassing, where you have a little bit of health, a little bit of people, a little bit of all of it, right? So it doesn't really matter. It's totally up to you and what you think you want and need for this coming year. So as you do that, just make a few lists. In general, what do you want? What are your career aspirations? What's next? Think about what's next. And feel free to share anything along the way if you want to do that. What are your health goals? What do you need to change? How are you moving through your life? Literally, when you think about, if you envision how you're walking around, are you trudging through life? Are you skipping through life? Are you doing a little bit of both? Do you do dance breaks? Something I highly recommend. Dance around the house. Like, how are you moving through your life? Like, really, like, looking at, your health goals. What needs to change? How are you eating? How are you sleeping? All of that. Financial goals. How much is in your bank account? Do you know right now? How much do you need? How much do you want? What's going on there? I love this saying that if we don't look at our numbers and we don't look at our bank account, we're telling the universe that we're afraid of getting more money. I think it's a really great way to look at it. Knowing what your numbers are really can help you know where you are, so you can then determine what do you want and how do you want that to change. And then spiritual changes, like, how connected are you to whatever your belief is? Do you feel connected? Do you feel disconnected? What's going on there? And your community, how are the people in your life? And how's your love life? You can look at it romantically, how is your partner? What's going on there? And then you can look at your community, like your friends, your family members, your churches, your schools, whatever, the Insider Track, if you're in that membership, that's an amazing community. Like, how are you building community to support you? Maybe places that you want to go, people you want to meet, relationships you want to improve or deepen, accolades that you would like to receive. I know some people are really driven by that. We had a producer come in, and his two goals is to win a Pulitzer and an Oscar, kind of on the same project. Like, he's like really focused on that. He's already won 2 Emmys. So that he checked off. So now he's going for the next thing, right? He's very driven by that. And I think it's in part, knowing him, it's that he wants to prove what's possible. And that can be very motivating when you're proving what's possible for others, because he has a lot of people that he helps. And why do you want these things? Like, why do you want all of this stuff? Usually we want things because of the way that we think it's going to make us feel. We want these accolades because it'll feel a certain way. We want romance because then we'll feel this. We want more money because it will make us feel ease, or whatever it might be. Can you step into that feeling, just imagining it, so that you can experience the feeling of it? Because when you experience the feeling of it, again, it's not that, and maybe, or it could be this, that you feel that thing and then it happens to you, and it's this moment of, miracles, and they happen every day and all kinds of stuff. But it also affects the changes that you make on a daily basis, the decisions that you make, the people you choose to spend time with, the things you choose to listen to, the things you click on social media. Are you clicking on things that are negative? Are you clicking on things that are positive? When you come from these places in this feeling spot, you'll click on things that then will support it, right? So as you look at this, what are the values that you're living every day? We never look at our values. And to me, this is a way that you also write authentic characters. When you see a character and you ask, what does this character value? So a character is set up and we see the values. We look at Shrek and he values his alone time. He values his swamp. He values just, his singularity of his life. And then all the fairy tale creatures come in, right? And they disrupt his values. They disrupt his values so much that he comes out of the very thing that he loves so much in order to try to preserve his values. But what happens when he does that? All hell breaks loose, because then he ends up going on a journey and he falls in love. And that like changes everything of his value. And that's why that story works so well, is because the character's values are shifting. And when we really look at a character and we look at their values, and something internally is either that they have internal values that the external world is changing, such as in Shrek, or they have external value, a way that they're living their life, and they have an internal shift. Jerry Maguire, his life is set up a certain way. Suddenly he has an epiphany. His internal values instantly change, which can happen in real life. You suddenly can go, enough. I'm not going to live this way. My value just changed. And then your outside world is not reflecting that value, and it creates all kinds of conflict. Jerry Maguire has all these conflicts. His girlfriend, off she goes. Like, she's not going to stick around with these new values. His job doesn't fit anymore. He has to replace everything to match his new internal value. So when you look at your life, how are you living your values? And if you want to know what you value, just look at what you do every day. We do the things we value. If you spend your day working, you value something like security, you value, there's just, maybe you're doing it for your family. There's things that you're doing that are reflecting your values. And so if you want to change what those things are, really being aware of what your values are, and then you can create a life that reflects that value. So make a list of all the words that reflect the things that you want, whether it's wealth, freedom, security, peace. Someone said shine the other day, which I love. That's going to be her word. So as you look, write them all out. Like, just first thought, best thought, write down all your values, go through, circle the ones that really resonate to the things that you want to do for 2024. And then as you look at that, pick one, pick a word that then you can use throughout the year. So rather than having a New Year's resolution that you're going to forget by March, what was your New Year's resolution last year? Anyone remember? Often we make these plans and resolutions. It's kind of interesting because it's manufactured. We've decided this is the new year, and so now's the time. I love it. I think it's great that we have a time that we do this. But by picking a word, then throughout the year, you can say, okay, I have a decision to make. The word that I chose was security. So now I have to decide, do I want to do this thing or this thing? And then you can say, okay, I said I wanted more security in my life. Which of these things better serves that value? So when you choose a value like that, then you can make decisions along the year, and that becomes your resolution, and your life will drastically change. So it makes it very tangible and doable. So when you're doing a vision board and you've decided on your word, you could find all kinds of things that will back that up, so that when you are looking out in the world, your little brain that's sort of simple will start to look for those things that match that value. And so you'll start to be able to shift into the thing that you want and make decisions, and be able to realize that when you're in conflict, when things aren't going the way that you want, and you're feeling angst and you're feeling, stressed out and all of these things, you'll be aware that, okay, there's something in my external world that is out of sync with my internal value. And what can I do to shift that? Do I need to shift my value and have it reflect what's going on? Or do I not want that? And I want to make sure that my value is that I listen to that, right? So it's every decision, you're sort of going back and forth. And that's what creates a very authentic life, just like it creates very authentic characters. When you read a screenplay or you watch a movie and the characters aren't believable and they're just kind of one note and you don't know why, this is typically what's going on. There's no the values aren't matching. What they're doing is not matching what they're saying they are, who they are. So being able to really understand that will make you a better writer, a better reader, and a better person. Like, they'll make you more content in your life. Hey, Annette. Thanks for saying hello. So it's really lovely to see you guys today. I hope that this is helpful for you. There are some resources in the back of this of apps. There's actually apps that you can create vision boards that make it a lot faster and a lot easier. You gotta love AI. So you got Canva, Dream Board, the Subliminal Vision Board, Wish Board with Hay House, Dream Vision Board, Visu App, Visual Life, Corculos Pro, Pick Collage, Bloom, My Movies, makeavisionboard.com. I love it, right? And then there's places where you can get pictures, Pixabay, Shutterstock, PicMonkey, Unsplash. Even like Google Docs has a thing where you can get free pictures. Canva has a bunch of free pictures, right? So that you can create something visual if you want to do it that way. So it is really interesting when we are able to take all the things that we want and tangibly put something together that will help us move forward. So that's what these trainings are about. Again, you can find the handout at hollywoodgatekeepers.com/roadmap. This is just my gift to you for your new year. Awesome. Hi all, and thank you. Oh, I'm glad that it's resonating with you, so that you can take this and you can use it all throughout the year. This New Year is a manufactured thing. New Year's used to be, I love this story. New Year's used to be April 1st. We're talking like, hundreds of years ago. It was April 1st, like thousands of years ago. The history buff, right? And so, and then I'm sure the story of how they decided to change it to January, maybe because it was cold and we needed a pick-me-up. I don't know. But they moved it to January 1st, and then all people were still celebrating on April 1st. And what did that become? April Fool's Day. They became fools for celebrating on the wrong day. And that's the story of April Fool's Day, which I absolutely love, but it also demonstrates how the calendar is manufactured. There's many different kinds of calendars. So we're going to use it. What the heck? We're going to use it because it's a chance for you to have a rebirth. But then you can do this and go through this process anytime. It's a good thing to do around your birthday. How has this year been for you during your birthday? We also celebrate Happy Half New Year. We do that July 1st, and we do the whole thing all over again halfway through the year, so we can see how's the year going so far, and so we can get back on track again with the new year. So thanks, Coach. You guys are the best. Awesome. So yeah, as a life coach, this is my goal and my job and my mission is to make it so that your life is as content as possible. So then you can do the projects that you want to do, and you can get those screenplays, and you can help make them better because you understand people in life a little bit better. And then you can also create better stories, which improves that writer's life. They're happier, and all of us are a little bit easier to be around with all the other people in our life because we're doing the thing we love. We're creating these stories. Those stories get up onto the screen. People come see those stories. It affects them. They have a better life because of the thing we just created. They go home. They're easier to be around. Their family's inspired, and so on, and so it goes. And so it might seem like this little, we're going to create a vision board, but it has a huge ripple effect. And that's what I want to share with you for your life and for your new year and for every day. So it's so lovely to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and definitely get that handout at hollywoodgatekeepers.com roadmap. And that also will have the different trainings, and I'll put this one on there as well. So lovely to meet you guys. Lovely to see you. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for sharing. And we will see you next time. Have a beautiful, lovely holiday, whatever you're celebrating. Celebrate mostly love. Celebrate each other. We'll talk to you.